She had no clothes on when she was born, and she had none on when she died. And Uncle Patrick was a veteran of the Great North War. He came over to Stacy's house, and Stacy said, "What did you come over here for?" And Patrick says, "The priest has died." Haven't you heard? The procession starts tomorrow. I reckon the only audience will be the birds, because it's coming out all over town. Every single little evil deed, from the butcher to the barber shop. That man was a bad seed. Oh God. "That's terrible," said Stacy. She was being sarcastic. She looked out the window, feeling fantastic. Sunrise on Main Street, yes, deserted except for Tim, the full-time scab. You could make a living off begging. Back then Stacy Moses on down the road. She's feeling confident, she's feeling cautious. What she saw next would have made anybody else completely nauseous. She just smiled at 3 fresh bodies dumped in a ditch. The vermin had come for them, the crows would be next. She stared down at their faces like a mother does a newborn child. She recognized them, the altar boys. She got a kick out of their innocence being defiled. Stacy ran grinning all the way to her mother's home. The cattle paid no attention, their eyes like stones. She broke in like a madman, eyes wide, hair wild. Her mother wondered how she'd given birth to such a child. And Dad walks in, wipes his pants. Stacy claims to be the victim of strange circumstance. She keeps up raving about the ways of men, and then she threatened to go out beside the lake and jump in. Mom says, "Sit down, Stacy, the water's almost boiled, let's have a chat." Stacy says, "There's nothing I'd prefer less than doing that." Enter Uncle Patrick. He walks right in with a bright red nose and a beard on his chin. Patrick says to Stacy, "There's a warrant out for your arrest." Stacy's heart beats slow behind her ribs, inside her chest. She gets up from her kitchen chair. She walks towards the bench. She pulls out a knife from there, and she slits her mother's neck. Now father had not panicked in the flood of 74. He did not panic now. He stood still on the floor, and Stacy stood there staring. She was feeling kind of bored. Uncle Patrick tried to keep quiet as he made for the door. Patrick made a run for it, couldn't say surprised. In the time that it took Stacy to throw a vase between his eyes, Patrick on the porch, bleeding from the skull. Stacy wondering when murder had become so lifeless and dull. Dad's face was sad, and for a sec Stacy did not move. The moment was worthy to be painted and hung inside the Louvre. She hurled abuse across the room, but it did not stick, so she took out her father's ankles with one sweeping kick. All her teeth were bared like a dog during a feast. She slapped his face as though he was was her bitch. His response was less dramatic than if he'd had an itch. Stacy lost her shit at this. She started stabbing him in the chest, and then she jumped up and down on his ribcage like a boot stomps a bird's nest. Walked outside, got a washing line wire, threaded through his nose till it came out his mouth. Then she pulled on both ends and pried his jaw completely out. Stacy's body in a lake not far from her home. She was floating there, face down amongst the foam. And Stacy had disease no doctor could describe. She had no clothes on when she was born. She had none on when she died. She had none on when she died. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for listening.